Welcome to How to Tint Your Brows at Home with your G Beauty Brow Kit. I am so excited about this kit. It's been such a long time since we've been able to do so many of your gorgeous brows, and this kit has everything you need to achieve a G Beauty brow right from your home. I'm going to do this tutorial on myself. I do not have any products in my brows right now, and bizarre, but I feel so naked. So I'm going to demonstrate it. I've taken the kit apart, so I can't show it to you, but it comes in this gorgeous clear G Beauty clutch, and I'm going to, like I said, walk you through step by step. So of course, first things first, you wanna make sure that you have time, especially when it's your first at-home brow tint. You are your own Picasso. So it's going to take you probably 2 to 3 tries to really get your perfect at-home brow. And it definitely helps to know that you're not in a rush, you have some time, and you wanna make your space as clean as possible. You wanna have tons of either paper towel or maybe a towel you don't care about so much because you might get tint on it. And you wanna make sure that you're wearing clothes, maybe not something white. You probably won't get tint on yourself, but sometimes it can be a little challenging to get tint out of your clothes. So first in the kit, you are going to use your headband. So this is going to allow us to really focus on our brows. So I take the headband and it has Velcro at the front, and then I'm just gonna clasp it there like that, pull all my own hair back. Oh, I did a bad job. Let me start that over. Okay, so it's also nice to do your brows once you've just gotten out of the shower. That's when I generally, because sometimes my hair will be in a towel. So that is step number 1. Hair is pulled back. So in the kit, like I said, you have so many moving parts, and you will, of course, you have the postcard there, which is written down everything that I'm going to be displaying and showing you. So let's do this together. So you are going to get 2 bottles of Reflecto Seal tint. This is what we use at G Beauty. This is an incredible vegetable-based tint. Each kit has the same 2 colors. You have natural brown and light brown, and depending on the base of your hair or what kind of brow you're going for, you're either going to use just the light brown, just the natural brown, or mix them together. For my case today, for my brow, I'm categorized in the ombre hair / medium brunette. So I'm gonna use and mix both. So like I said, first you wanna make sure your brows are clean. You're gonna have a few of these spoolies which don't have anything on them, and it's nice to just brush out your brows just to make sure that they're all set in place. Next up, we are going to use our little tint jar and our tinting brush, and we're going to mix the formulation together until we get a mousse-like texture. So this little jar, it comes with a cap on top. You're just gonna take that off, and then this is the little brush to go with it. So when you get the two new bottles of tint, they come in a box. You're gonna open it up, and then you're gonna see that it's sealed. And on the back of the cap, you're just gonna press it in to open it up, and it makes the perfect press. I'm gonna do that on my other one. And the tint bottle will not go bad so long as that you seal it super tight. So just make sure after you've used it, you've sealed it super tight. So I'm going to take a pea size of the light brown. So this is a pea size for me. About a pea size of the first one, and then a pea size of the natural brown. And it's nice, like, use the jar to wipe it off. So you're gonna have about that much tint, and it's okay if it's on the side of the jar, not a problem. I'm gonna rest this down. This is our liquid developer. So this is what's going to create the actual tint with the 2 colors or the 1 color. And you're going to use between 5 and 8 drops of this into your jar. So I'll show you right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like to use 8, but you can really, like I said, you're gonna really learn as to what is best for you. Then you're going to take your little brush and you're gonna mix this formula together until you get a mousse-like texture. So I like to lean it on its side, mix it up, and eventually it will become a mousse-like texture. I'm so excited for you if you're doing this with me. Oh, I'm so excited for you. So it should end up looking something like that, almost like a pudding. Really mix it together. Now I'm going to let that sit, And I'm going to now trace my eyebrows. So this is the part that's super important. The Vaseline, which I'm sure if you've had your brows done at G Beauty, you know all about, but this basically protects the skin from not getting tint into the pores, which is really important. And this is basically the trace of your eyebrows. So we've given you a couple of Q-tips and this cute little mini Vaseline jar, and you're going to take the Vaseline on the Q-tip and you're going to trace around your brows. So like I said in the beginning of this video, take your time. There is no rush. This is your personal brow kit, so double dip if you need to. And this is setting the foundation for where your tint will go. And if you get some Vaseline on the brow hairs themselves, that's no problem. Generally, I'll just take the other side of the Q-tip and just brush it through to make sure it's all gone. So now I'm moving to the next brow. Now in the kit as well, you have tweezers, you have scissors for shaping the brows, which if you wish to shape your brows or tidy them up, I personally recommend doing this after you've tinted. The reason is that the tint is going to show you all those little baby hairs that maybe you're growing in or you're looking to create more fullness with them in certain strategic places. So I suggest waiting until the end. If you want to trim your brows first, that's no problem, but I'm going to do that at the end. So now my Vaseline is set. Like I said, take your time. There is no rush. And it's nice to make this experience relaxing. Put a candle on. It's nice to do in your bathroom. I'm doing it at my desk here because I have all the setup I need, but do it wherever you feel comfortable. Coming back to our little concoction. So I'm going to take the tint on the brush and I'm going to pat it onto my brow hairs. So we've written there on the card, you don't want to paint it because the patting is what allows us to get the color from root to tip. So you can also brush a little bit against the grain to really get at the base of your brow. And I just pat and lift. And so it's going to look, I guess, a bit chunky, not perfectly smooth, not to worry. And really take advantage of every last little bit of tint on the jar. So patting lightly. And again, this is why you have the Vaseline, so you do not have to be perfect. The Vaseline is protecting all the skin around your brows, so if they look like this, it's all good. So press and get all that coverage. Now, what we've explained on the card that you may have is that with a tint, the timing is what will create the result essentially. So if you leave it on, we would say for an at-home brow tint, the max you would leave it on would be 10 minutes, and anything close to 10 minutes is going to create a deeper, more pronounced color. Anything closer to 5 minutes is going to be more like a kiss of color. So if it's your first brow tint ever on yourself, I would say start closer, leave it on closer to 5 minutes, just so that you see how it is, see how you feel comfortable. And if you don't use all the tint, I know I do my brows all the time. So I know for myself that this tint is exactly what I need. But if you have tint left over in the jar, don't wipe or clean this up quite yet, because once we wipe off the tint, we may want to go back in and do a double tint if we've done it too light or not to our particular liking. So to reiterate, we have our brow tint on. Now with timing, you want to range between 5 and 10 minutes. So 5 minutes is going to give you a light tint. Closer to 10 minutes is going to give you a deeper color. If you are trying to tint white or gray hairs, you want to use the light brown only and leave it on for as close to 15 minutes. The white or gray hairs no longer have pigment, so they take longer to adhere color to. So this is going to be the best bet. If, like I said, follow along in the card, but if you have deep brunette hair to black, you're going to just use the natural brown. If you're super blonde, I would suggest just using the light brown, but if you're a blonde that likes to have really deep and defined brows, you can do what I'm doing, which is the cocktail. So now that I sort of see what I'm working with, I am going to take one of my clean Q-tips and I'm just going to perfect it ever so slightly just because I know I don't need it to look so super messy. And then, like I said, I have paper towel with me and I'll just wipe off any excess onto the paper towel. And then wipe it off again. And do not worry if your brows look crazy. This is part of the process. And if you've been at G Beauty, you've probably seen yourself like this already. I'm gonna let this sit for about 8 minutes and I will be right back. This tint has been on now for about 3 to 4 minutes, and I want to remind you, if it gets darker while it's sitting on your skin, do not panic. It is the tint developing. This is not a true reflection of what your brows are going to look like, so just be patient with the process. If you get nervous, do not worry, wipe it off, but I would suggest leaving it on for the time you think you've committed to, which could be between 6 to 8 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna be back in about 4 more minutes. While your tint is sitting, we've given you some cotton pads, which we suggest running under warm water and then separating them. You are going to use these to wipe off your tint. So just a cotton pad with a little bit of water. The water will help to just create a smooth, clean result. I wouldn't suggest doing it dry, and you wanna have something with a larger surface area, so the cotton pads are perfect. So it is time to take off this brow tint. Like I said, I have my pre-soaked, very gently soaked cotton pads, and then I do have a piece of paper towel just in front of me because when we take off the tint, it might get a little bit messy, so you wanna put it on a paper towel so you can just discard it once it's done. So I'm gonna take the first cotton pad, and I like to wipe out, so start at my brow and wipe out towards my hairline. And I just gently press on the skin. And then what I do is I fold the cotton pad in half so I don't waste it. And as you're wiping off the tint, you're also gonna be wiping off the Vaseline. Don't worry if you get a little bit of tint left over there on the skin, because you are just going to wipe it away, and that's why we have the Vaseline. So you can see for me, this is the perfect medium brunette brow tint. And this was, I think I finished at 7 minutes in terms of leaving it on. Second pad and wiping out towards my hairline. Not as perfect as the other side. And again, do not worry if you get some tint on the skin. That's why we have so many cotton pads ready to go and the Vaseline to protect our skin. And if you wish, you can take another cotton pad and just rub it in a more circular motion to make sure you get everything off, but just wipe until there's nothing left on your cotton pad. And that is your formulation and execution of your first brow tint. So now that we've finished the look and I like what I see, what I would suggest you doing first is dry wiping these with a paper towel. So really doing it dry, and then if you wish to wet it and dry it again, but you wanna, because it's so liquidy right now, you just wanna use a dry paper towel to wipe it away. So now that I have finished, I'm going to take my spoolie and just brush through and see how I like everything. And this would be the point where I would then use our tweezers, our scissors, if you wish to do a little bit of shaping or tidying. So if you want to trim your brows, you just want to make sure that you're brushing your hairs up. This will take you a little bit of time to get used to, and then just do a clean little trim. You probably won't even hear anything because these brow hairs are so fine, but it really does make a difference. And if you have a magnifying mirror, it might be good for you to use it there. And then just use the straight edge of the scissors and just use them as sort of like a tracing tool. Again, you have tweezers here if you wish to clean anything up. I am satisfied with how my tint is looking and how my brows are looking. If I were to do some tweezing, after you tweeze, you may get some irritation. So we've given you a sample of one of our favorite serums to calm and soothe the skin, help with inflammation. It is the SkinCeuticals Phytocorrective Gel. It's green because it has a little bit of aloe vera. This is just the sample size. It comes in a full-size bottle. And I'm just gonna use a little bit on the areas. If you get red, it's no problem at all. And then just rub this in. It's great for anybody, anyone with extremely sensitive skin. You will love this serum. If you have oily skin like me, it just helps with those concentrated areas where we have touched and we have pulled. So next, you really wanna make sure that you then close up your tint. Like I said, you don't want these to oxidize, which means have air hit them because that will affect the color. And I would suggest keeping all of your brow tint products in your one case because that will keep you nice and organized and make sure you seal everything really tight. The last step is your G Beauty Clear Brow Gel, one of my favorites. And I'm just gonna use this as like a little fine bit of styling, brushing upwards, and voila! That is your first at-home brow tint. Oh, I have to fix my hair now. But this is the finished result using your G Beauty Brow Tint Kit, and I am so excited for you to give it a try. If you do wish to have a one-on-one consultation, email virtual@gbeauty.com and we will set you up with a G Brow professional. Thank you again, enjoy, and we cannot wait to see you and take care of your brows in person.